still glowing. Raindrops dance across the quiet street. Soft reflections falling at my feet. Synth pads bloom in a fading arc, painting gentle colors through the dark. And though the night is trembling with its ache, your memory glows in every ripple it makes. Paper lights beneath the rain tonight, floating through the shadows with a fragile light. Even when the city hides you from my sight, hope keeps shining, soft but bright. Paper lights beneath the rain so near, whispering the parts of you I still hold dear. Guitar lines drip like a silver thread, following the roads where our footsteps led. The beat moves slow with a steady sigh, holding every secret we left to dry. Even when the world feels cold and thin, your warmth breaks through, softly pulling me in. Paper lights beneath the rain tonight, floating through the shadows with a fragile light. Even when the city hides you from my sight, hope keeps shining, soft but bright. Paper lights beneath the rain so near, whispering the parts of you I still hold dear. Some lights grow stronger when the storms appear. Yours is the one I still draw near. Paper lights, still glowing. stay. Neon drips slowly down the window glass, echoing the nights we used to let pass. Faint hum lightly in a fragile line, tracing all the pieces I pretended were fine. But even in the stillness where shadows hide, there's a trembling warmth that won't leave my side. Silent neon reverie in the air, pulling every heartbeat from the quiet glare. Even when the dark feels too much to bear, hope keeps flickering like it's always there. Silent neon reverie in the glow, showing me the past I used to fear to know. Guitar notes shimmer in a gentle sweep, falling like a memory I couldn't keep. The rhythm settles with the softened beat, turning broken echoes into something sweet. And even when the quiet feels too deep, your warmth returns in every sound I keep. Silent neon reverie in the air, pulling every heartbeat from the quiet glare. Even when the dark feels too much to bear, hope keeps flickering like it's always there. Silent neon reverie in the glow, showing me the paths I used to fear to know. Some lights fade slow, but never disappear. They wait in the silence until we draw near. Silent neon reverie, leading me home. A soft light still shining. Soft winds move through the empty streets, carrying the echo of familiar beats. Smeets hum low like a distant plea, tracing shadows where your warmth used to be. But even in the drift where endings cling, I feel the flutter of a fragile wing. Glass wings in the quiet, hold Guitars tremble bright in a silver sweep, pulling hidden memories up from deep. The drum machine pulses a steady line, lifting every bruise that I called mine. Even when the weight becomes too real, your echo turns a broken into something I can Glass wings in the quiet, holding on, shining through the dust, though the light is gone. Even in the dark, where the fears belong, something in their glow keeps me strong. Glass wings in the quiet, faint but true, guiding every step that leads me back to you. Some wings don't shatter when the nights fall cold. They rise even when they're made of gold. Glass wings in the quiet, still beating. City lights blur in a violet haze, tracing quiet cracks through forgotten days. Soft pads rising like a hidden bloom, breathing tiny colors in the quiet gloom. And in the drift where broken nights collide, a to break. Shimmer on cold glass, moments of a memory I wished would last. Synth swells drift in a trembling glow, holding every detail only hearts can know. And though the silence feels too wide, I still feel you standing at my side. Pixels on a silver window fall, tracing soft reminders of what we recall. Even when the night builds a darker wall, your warmth keeps breaking through it all. Echoes on a silver window stay, guiding me gently through the gray. Guitar strings bloom like a quiet breath, soft enough to stir what the silence left. A drum